What Master said, very important point is, your conscious mind will not easily allow you to make this change because of old habit. Because habit is very strong. Habit is a very strong thing. So because of old habit, your conscious mind does not allow you with all these proposals. If you tell your mind, please, we want to change your direction towards upper, conscious mind. No discipline. Yeah. Yes. So, without opposing, slowly, you have to convince your conscious mind to allow you to change the direction. Softly, friendly. Otherwise, it becomes most difficult for you. The mind will not allow you at all. So here also, so in terms of healing, also it's the same thing, because the science of yoga is not different from this science. These are the same. For healing and yoga and all this, they are not different from each other. So mind is, here is everything is centered here, the mind. That is why we have to, about healing, about health and disease also, we must know we have to deal with the mind. In the 3 laws which I have given you, and which you have now, which now you have before you for consideration, we have studied 3 laws. In the previous classes we have studied the other 2 laws. I'll just remind you about these previous 2 laws. Law 1 is in page 5, which we have studied. The first law, just I will remind myself also, you means remind, we have to be reminded. The first law is, all disease is the result of inhibited soul life. All disease is the result of inhibited soul life. And that is true of all forms in all kingdoms. All disease, it is in page number 5. In the introduction itself, he has given the first law. Page number 5 in this book. All disease is the result of inhibited soul life. And that is true of all forms in kingdoms, in all kingdoms. In mineral, plant, animal, human, in all the kingdoms, it is true. And that is true. All disease is the result of inhibited soul life. Inhibited soul life. And that is true. Inhibited. Inhibition. And that is true of all forms in all kingdoms. Forms, all forms in all kingdoms. The art of the healer consists In releasing the soul, the art of the healer consists in releasing the soul so that its life can flow through the aggregate of organisms which constitute I think better you note the page number than you can see in the book. You have the book with you. Yeah. Page 5. It is in the introductory remarks he has given. The art of the healer consists in releasing the soul so that its life can flow through the aggregate of organisms which constitute any particular form. And the second law he has given in this chapter. Desire is the product of and subject to three influences. Desire is the product of and subject to three influences. First, a man's past, human beings, a man's past, wherein he pays the price of ancient error. He pays the price of ancient error. Second, his inheritance. Wherein he shares with all mankind, those tainted streams of energy, which are of group origin. Yeah.
What is the page?
Page 30. It is page 5 is the first law, second law is page 29 started and continued into 30. In the book Esorteric Healing. And thirdly, the third one, He shares with all the natural forms. He shares with all the natural forms. That which the Lord of life, imposes on his body. These three influences are called the ancient law of evil sharing. The ancient law of evil sharing. Evil sharing. Sharing. This must give place someday to that new law. This must give place someday to the new law of ancient dominating good. Ancient dominating good. This must give place. This must give place someday to the new law of ancient dominating good. Which lies behind all the God-made. Which lies behind all the God-made. This law must be brought into activity. This law must be brought into activity by the spiritual will of man. By the spiritual will of man. So this is second law, and the third law, which already I mentioned yesterday and we are studying now, the third law. Which one? Third law is 54, page 54, which yesterday I wrote on the board. You have copied. So the third law we have already studied, we are studying now. Diseases are an effect of the basic centralization of a man's life energy from the plane whereon those energies are focused. Proceed those determining conditions which produce ill health and which therefore work out as a disease or as freedom from disease. This is the third law, which yesterday we studied. We are now in the third law only. So here he says that in these three laws which I have given you and which now have before you for consideration, it is obvious that the following facts emerge. He is giving some facts. These should be the basis for your reflection. What are the facts? We will see. The first one of the facts is disease is the result of the blocking of the free flow of life of the soul. So he is giving some certain facts. The first fact is this is the result of blocking of the free flow of the free flow of the life of the soul. Free flow of the life of the soul. Disease is the result of blocking of the free flow of the life of the soul. Because all our existence in all the planes is manifested due to the flow of the light of the soul. That is what we call life. So disease is the blocking, result of blocking. There are some factors which block this free flow. And when this free flow is blocked, there is certain result produced, and that result is called disease. That is what he is explaining. When the free flow of the life, the soul, is blocked by any factor, so the result of the blockage, what is the result of the blockage? It is a disharmonious experience, unnatural experience. So our real experience, natural experience, is possible by uninterrupted flow. This flow should not be interrupted. But this flow is often interrupted by certain factors. So when interrupted by any factor, this free flow, if it is interrupted, then what happens? It takes a different effect. Exactly this is how this is also explained by Dr. Hahnemann in Harganon. Disease is also a force. What we call disease and what we call health, health and disease are of the same force. No? But the same force, when this force is in its natural direction And this force, what we call vital force, when it is in natural direction, natural course of action, then what you experience is called health. And when the direction is changed of this force, then you have a different expression. And this different expression of the same force is called disease. That is very clearly explained by Hahnemann. What you call disease, what you call health, what you call disease are only two different expressions of the same force. For this, Master has given an example for us to explain this in Arganon. You see, you have the river here. The river is flowing. So the river, flowing of the river is a force. So you have built a dam. So you stopped the flow of the river. So when you built a dam, you stopped the flow of the river. So the force increases, because when you have interrupted this, then the force increases. If you do not direct this force in the required manner, then it will destroy everything. Yes. So the engineers, if they only build the dam and leave it like that, then finished everything. Why they have built a dam? To redirect the flow in the required manner. Because the flow of the water is required to turn the turbine to produce electricity, and also it is required to go into the canals for irrigation. So this is the purpose. So what you have done, you have stopped to the flow, and you made another way that your direction is changed. So the change of direction is in the required manner. You can do it according to your requirement. So you can build many number of powerhouses, and then you can do it in many canals for irrigation. So it is for a good purpose. You could achieve. In the same manner, when the vital force, this flow of the force of the energy is interrupted, then there will be an increase. And if you do not make a proper channelization, then this force will destroy you. It's the same energy, same force. It depends upon how you make use of it, how you transact with it. So the type of transaction which you make with it decides whether it can protect you or it can destroy you. That is what Hahnemann explained. When you are walking along the river, when it is very hot, then you feel tired, so you will refresh yourself by taking a dip and drinking some water, fresh water, flowing water. Then you feel comfortable and replenish, recharge. That is proper transaction. Otherwise, for some reasons you are depressed in your mind and decided not to live anymore, then you can jump into the river and drown and kill yourself. That is also possible. So, it is the same river and same water. It makes no difference. For river there is no change. But with one type of transaction, you got charged and refreshed and strength. And other type of transaction, you could end your life. So these are two different transactions which you made with the same river. This we have to remember. River has nothing to do. River has no like or dislike for you. It is neutral. You see? In the same manner, our life force is like a river, flowing river. It is continuously flowing river, such a power. So we must know how to deal with it. So any sort of obstruction. So that is blocking. If there is a blocking in this flow of this life force, so this blocking produces a certain effect which is not normal, which is a different effect than normal effect. So this different effect is what you call disease. So therefore, we must, what we have to do is to identify the blocking, how it happened, where it happened, why it happened, to identify this and trying to eliminate this blocking. Without this, if you want to make something for the disease, for the effect, you cannot bring a real solution. So restoration, that is what is called, explained by Hahnemann. In the very beginning of Organon, he says, what the physician should aim to do is to restore. What you call cure means restoration. Restoration. That is healing. To restore the normal, uninterrupted flow of this, that is restoration. So it is not fighting with the disease, not fighting with the symptoms, nothing to do with that. Yeah. Yes. In the direction, the river itself. Yeah, without blocking the river. Yes. Yeah. So need not redirect this and block this and all these things. Yeah, because building of the dam to block the flow of the river is not good also, because it creates so many disturbances in the layers of the earth. And in future yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. When it was built, many villages were submerged totally, because the water rises the level, so that happens. So therefore, disease is the result of blocking of the free flow of the life. So there should be, as long as there is free flow, then it means you are in a healthy condition. This is what we have to understand. From the soul level, there should be a free flow of this energy, free flow of the light, without being interrupted. Then it is a healthy life. Yeah. So why this blocking happens, those factors are explained also further in this book, as well as in the sciences like homeopathy.